You are using your money. They're using other people's money. Man, that hit me like a pound of bricks. Think about that concept because it's okay to use our own money. There's a struggle that comes intact with that. Failure gonna come with that. You're gonna lose some of your own money. But when you're using someone else's money and you fail, it ain't the same blow. If you get what I'm saying. Credit is most definitely something you need in America on some form. Um, when you're building your business, when you're building your independence, when you're just living in America. You know what I mean? Credit can actually open up doors for you that your personal account can't open for you, if you get what I'm saying. So as time go, I understand it more and more. But that statement made it so potent to know that once you understand the concept of allowing your money to make you money, how to literally make money in your sleep, and people say, oh man, that's just some hype, that's just, something that the entrepreneurs and the bloggers or the writers talk about, but we can do this as small LLC companies, as individuals, but it's about opening our eyes up to the fact of knowing how to allow our money to make money, knowing what power is. Is it in just buying materialistic things, cars, different clothing, just taking trips, what is it really about? And once you understand that as long as we live here in America, we got to pay something. It's a bill. In death, there's a bill. In life, there's a bill. Being born, there's a doctor bill. You see what I'm saying? So unless you got a midwife or something, salute, good rising, good rising. And it was just letting me, just thinking about the concept of how I have used my own money in the renovations of my mom's home. So all of the stuff that I'm doing right now, I'm using my own. And when you use your own, you're gonna get setbacks. You're gonna have times where you have to regroup and do other things because something might came up that you wasn't expected, and that expectation might be in 5,000, and you're like, dang, if you had it or not, it's still something you just didn't want to give for something. You're like, man, I can fix that, but it is what it is, And sometimes we can have unrealistic expectations on ourselves and on others, like expecting things to go, I don't know, just to wake up and everything be done like magic. It takes stages and processes for us to achieve things and for us to learn about the struggle. You know what I mean? Because there comes a struggle with using our own money. There's a struggle with staying afloat. Because even if you got 100,000 in the bank and you start spending it and you're not replacing any of it, eventually you're gonna be broke. You see what I'm saying? So even if you had $1 million in the bank and you just keep spending and you don't never learn how to replace it, but outside of buying things of luxury or need or things you feel like might embellish your image, So we have to understand, like, it's okay to use our own money, but it's literally smarter to use their money to make you money. So if you're in a position where you can use their money to make you money, don't go buy a vehicle or buy something, a crazy, unrealistic flip that you think you want to get out this. Be realistic and think numbers, think multiple doors, always think in threes or fours. You want to, I just don't want to just get one rent house. I at least want 3, or I want a couple duplexes. You know what I mean? Think more numbers. That way you can replace yourself. We are mind, body, and spirit. It takes all three of those things for us to function. So I think that we should network like that as an individual, as a product, and as a business. That's how we need to network. And once we understand the concept, we're always working on us. And it's not like working for a job for those who are independent or LLCs. It's not like working for a job, because you're working for a legacy. You're working for a purpose. You're going to see something over the hump. So no one else controls your destiny, but you have to wake yourself up. It's like when we're young, excuse me, when we're young, our parents wake us up in the morning to go to school. Like today, parents wake you up. It's time to get ready. It's 6:30. Bus gonna be here at 7. You need to, or 6 o'clock. Bus gonna be here at 7. You got an hour. You know what I mean? And we have to be in control. We have to be in control of our time now, even though they was helping us manage it then. So being independent is the same way. You have to wake yourself up. Say, hey man, it's time to get up. It's time to make something happen this morning. I got to go make this call. I need to go talk to these people. I need to go do this. It's kind of hard to make something happen when you're not wanting to give that extra push. That's why I understand the concept of going that extra mile, because if you can practice that, you will get into the habit of pushing even when it hurts, because discipline is going to kick in when your will of not wanting to do it, but you discipline now. You got to do it anyway. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes getting into that routine of getting disciplined can keep you focused, but we have to learn about money. You know what I mean? Salute what you said. Make sure I put these comments up. Most definitely what you said. It's good to plan your day. It's good to have you a sheet of what you want to do with your money, with your time, because you got to think time is more valuable than money. But we need money in order to live in America. We need money to do these renovations. We need money to do these things. We need money to travel from this state to this state. We need money to go to work. You got to spend money there. Or if you got a certain job, you got to have a certain uniform. It's always a concept of spending. So if we don't learn, family, how to allow our money to make money, how to invest properly in the right sources, that way we can be able to be okay. We can help different organizations or help our own communities. But to be realistic, family, you can't help nobody if you can't help yourself. You know what I mean? Sometimes people get caught up in trying to help everybody else, and they stress themselves out, and I'm looking like, man, you got some things you need to work on. True enough, we got a heart we want to do, and there's nothing wrong with it. But you got to make sure that you right first. You got to make sure that you good. Because one thing I have learned, people will give so many excuses on why they can't do something that they said they can do. But when it comes to you, you can't give excuses on why not to go that extra mile, why not to stand, why not to keep going, why not to keep fighting, why not to keep praying. You can't give it that excuse, because you know that when it's all said and done, when we die, we can't tell God the excuses we told man, because he know better. He know you could have did it. Now, some of us have different disadvantages, but if you stand on your word, you can't lie no more. Salute. You have to discipline yourself. So discipline is a key. So what I'm saying, as I learn, family, my thing is, as I learn things, I just share them, because the way I feel like sometimes people will get information and won't just spark that idea to help someone else be hungry enough to do the searching to get that information for themselves. And that's all I do. I just want to share, because I feel like as I learn things, it just opened me up to like, man, I know it's so many brothers and sisters that don't know certain concepts, and if we can change that, we can break that narrative. You know what I mean? So, because one thing I know for sure, in order for a person to take advantage of something, they still got to do some work ethics. They still got to do something. You see what I'm saying? So you have to do something anyway. So it ain't like you can just get the wisdom and just sit on it, or get the knowledge to sit on it. But if you're gonna do, you gotta do something. Salute, salute, no problem. I appreciate it. Like I say, I just feel like we need to know the difference from using our money, using their money, and and if you get the opportunity to use their money, don't use it to just buy liabilities. Like, make sure it's an asset, and you can do that. You can put yourself in a winning situation. This might not be like you hit the lottery, and sometimes it can be. You know, sometimes you can turn 10,000 into 30,000 in a couple weeks. Depends on the investment. You can do it. It's possible, but don't get caught up in thinking that that's going to happen all the time. You know, you might just be making regular little flips and it still end up to that amount. But don't get caught up in thinking you got to have this specific number. You know, just remember why you're doing it. You know, like, I'm in my hometown now, and I'm building up my welding courses. I'm building up my ideal of how I want to network and start business here, and with using the shipping container conversions. I got a few ideas, but I have to get my homestead. I still got things to do here, and I'm trying to get it where, you know, we're livable. You know what I mean? And so, you know, things are most definitely a whole lot better than what it was, but I still have stages, and I have to be realistic. And we have to know that when you're using your own money, you know, you have to be wise about certain things. You have to make certain investments, and sometimes, you know, even when you think you made a good investment, it can be a bad investment. So, you know, you can't just cry over spoiled milk. You just got to go pour another glass. You know what I mean? So I understand the concept now. So I just wanted to share that this morning, because I feel we have to learn how to use our own money to make us money, and have to use their money to make us money. And there's many ways to do it, with investments, with real estate, with property, with land, with products. So, you know, just have an open mind. You know what I mean? What you choose to do is on you, but there's many opportunities. So, you know, keep digging and seeing what's available, especially due to this pandemic. Man, they got a lot of stuff going on. So I got to do some researching on some things myself. And there's a few good opportunities also out there for small businesses and individuals that actually doing things on a productive scale. You just have to show your records, you know what I mean, of what you're doing. So there's so many opportunities out there, but when you get these opportunities, make sure you do something with them. You know, don't, you know, like some of these dudes and some of these folks we've been seeing me getting caught up taking trips and buying things that not getting took and going to jail. You know what I mean? Don't make no sense. I think that if you get it in small portions and you learn the concept of how to utilize it and how to allow it to work for you, then you'll be in a better position. Like, you'll really get it, but you're gonna have to go through the struggle. You know what I mean? That's why I hate those stories that always show a person rich and poor, not their own, but it never shows you the struggle. I think we have to see the progress, and that's why I've been showing y'all renovations of mom's house. Like, I still got a couple things to do in here. I'm in the kitchen area now. I still got some plug things to do. So I got to put my cabinets up. You know what I mean? I've been still just been working. You know, just going around doing what I can do. And in the meantime, I'm making accomplishments. But I realized that I have to start from somewhere. You have to start from somewhere, family. And when you're using your own money, you have to be wiser. You can't just go on one, because if you go on one, you got to realize that all of this is going to a establishment like this home. You know, my goal is to rest my head and have it my headquarters. Even when I travel, I can come back home. You know what I mean? And so I know that I got to get certain things right. You can't really cut corners on certain things, even though you can on others. You know what I mean? So it's just things you learn. You learn things, but I will say this: learn real estate, family. Learn investments where you can just allow your money to make money, because I made a few investments where it has helped me out over time, where you have to trust the system, because you got to think you're not going to reinvent the wheel. And if you can put $1,000 back that you don't have to worry about it, then you go back and 6 months, a year, or 2 years, and you taking $3,000-$4,000 out, that's a mean investment. You're not gonna get that from a bank account. You see what I'm saying? It's not gonna happen. You can sit in the bank for 5 years and you're not gonna gain no $1,000 on 10,000. For real. So sometimes it's good for us to just be realistic and just take a chance. It's all about sacrifices and taking chances, because we're gonna take chances from it. It's chances in living. It's chance in you going to work, cranking up that car, driving down somewhere. You taking a chance and don't nobody hit you. You taking a chance that don't no plane fall down. It's so many things. You taking a chance, don't nobody come in there and rob the place. So we take chances, and we think it's okay on one level, but when it comes to our money, we get hesitant. But even in taking chances on ourselves, oh, I don't know about that. Maybe I just need to let. If you got it in your family, we only live once. That's it. And that's one thing about this pandemic that really been blowing my mind, that some people get caught up in thinking that we gonna live forever. I want us to live as long as we can and be blessed and prosper, but the truth of the matter is people been dying for decades, for centuries, and we're gonna do the same. You know what I mean? But while we're here in the time that we have to utilize it, be safe and be cautious, but don't be naive knowing that we got to go from it. So if you want to live a legacy, if you want to be able to do some things to maintain while you're here in this world, in the US of A, it takes money to make money. We have to pay bills, we have to work, we have to have jobs, we have to have businesses, we have to have structures, and you have to pay things, fees, you know what I mean, from everything, water bill, light bill, gas bill, rent, yard care, you name it, trash, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes we get caught up in the unrealistic thinking of money. Some people even get caught up in even thinking that it's evil, and it isn't. It's the person. It reveals the evil in the person, and that's what I understand about money. Once a person get a little money, even if it's a little or a lot, that money will reveal who they are, what type of person they are. It won't reveal anything about itself other than it's made to buy or to invest or to sell or to work. It'll work. But when certain people get money, it shows who they are. So don't get caught up in thinking that, just money is evil, because it's the love of it. And only thing that can give money love, because money don't have emotions, is the person that's holding it. So it's the person who's giving emotions to the money and willing to do anything for it, willing to kill, steal, sacrifice, sell that soul if they have to. So it's on us as an individual to understand the difference and to understand how to allow our money to make us money, and to allow someone else money to make us money. Y'all be blessed.